How to survive when the world has ended. The shelves are stripped clean. The last hardware store burned down 3 weeks ago, and the only thing standing between you and a very permanent nap is whatever's rotting in that dumpster behind you. Yeah, that dumpster. Don't walk away. Picture this. Cities are quiet. Not peaceful quiet, not Sunday morning quiet. Wrong quiet. The kind of quiet where you can hear your own heartbeat and it sounds nervous. Supply chains? Gone. Pharmacies? Looted. That one guy who had a plan? Also gone, ironically. You've got the clothes on your back, a half-dead flashlight, and the creeping realization that everything your biology teacher told you about the human body's limits is about to become personally relevant. Here's the thing nobody tells you in the survival forums, the prepper podcasts, or the glossy bug-out bag YouTube channels with their sponsored water filters and matching tactical gear. The stuff that keeps you alive isn't in a store. It never was. It's in the wreckage. It's in the forgotten corners of collapsed civilization. It's in the junk. And today, we're going through 7 of those pieces of junk, the ones you'd walk past, kick aside, maybe even laugh at, and we're going to explain with actual science why leaving them behind might be the last dumb decision you ever make. No gear list, no Amazon links, just you, the ruins, and whatever's left. Let's go. Item 1. Aluminum foil. You see a crumpled ball of aluminum foil on the floor of a gutted kitchen. Maybe it's got old grease on it. Maybe it smells like whatever was cooking when everything went sideways. You almost step over it. Don't. Aluminum foil is one of the most criminally underrated survival materials on the planet, and here's why your high school physics class should have made a bigger deal about it. Aluminum reflects roughly 95% of radiant heat. That means if you wrap yourself in it, yes, like a human burrito, yes, it looks ridiculous, no, nobody's watching, you retain body heat in cold environments with almost terrifying efficiency. Emergency blankets, that's literally just foil, the ones that cost $12 in camping stores. You just found the same thing in a trash pile. But wait, there's more. Because there's always more with foil. You can shape it into a crude parabolic dish and use it to focus sunlight onto tinder for fire starting. The geometry doesn't have to be perfect, just curved enough to concentrate the beam. You can line a makeshift oven or solar cooker with it. You can wrap food to slow bacterial contamination. You can fashion it into a signal mirror in a pinch. Aluminum reflects light at a range visible for miles under direct sun. And if you're in a situation where electromagnetic pulse is a concern, which in a proper collapse scenario it might be, a foil-lined container acts as a rudimentary Faraday cage. Wrap your radio, your batteries, your small electronics. The foil disrupts the electromagnetic field before it fries your gear. It's not perfect, but neither are you, and you're still here. Grab every scrap, flatten it, fold it, pocket it, move on. Item 2. Glass bottles. Broken city, broken windows, glass bottles everywhere, gutters, collapsed bars, debris fields. Most people see a hazard. You see infrastructure. Glass doesn't leach chemicals, doesn't off-gas, doesn't absorb bacteria like degraded plastic does. Fill a clear bottle with water, leave it in direct sunlight for 6 hours. That's SODIS, solar disinfection, field-tested in disaster zones worldwide. UVA radiation penetrates the glass and shreds pathogen DNA. No fire, no fuel, just physics and patience. The curved bottom of a bottle focuses sunlight like a lens and starts fires. A narrow neck controls pour for flammable liquids. A broken end wrapped in cloth is a cutting tool that never rusts and never needs sharpening. Pick up every bottle. Your future self is already grateful. Item 3. Rubber tubing or hose sections. Gutted cars, collapsed garages, old washing machines. Rubber tubing is everywhere if you know what you're looking at. Obvious use, siphoning. Dead roads are full of cars with half a tank still in them. The only thing between you and that fuel is a hose and the willingness to get a mouthful on the first attempt. Don't swallow it. The hydrocarbons will wreck your liver and your dignity simultaneously. Less obvious use, distillation. Coil the tubing through cold water, connect one end to a heated vessel. You've built a condenser. Steam travels through, cools, condenses into liquid at the other end. Steam doesn't carry dissolved salts, heavy metals, or biological contaminants, just H2O, drinkable, survivable. Also works as a tourniquet, slingshot band, container seal, or fire bellows. Gravity is free, tubing is free, hydration is priceless.
Let's continue with item 4, steel wool. This one looks like nothing. It looks like the world's saddest pillow stuffing. It looks like something you'd use to scrub a pan and then throw away without a second thought. And that's exactly why it's still sitting there, untouched, in the ruins of every kitchen and hardware store you've walked through. Steel wool ignites at a friction threshold so low it's almost offensive. Touch a 9-volt battery to a pad of fine steel wool, the kind rated 0000, and it catches in under a second. The iron in the steel oxidizes rapidly when the electrical current heats the fine filaments, and the enormous surface area of those filaments means the reaction spreads almost instantaneously. No lighter, no matches, no flint. Just a battery that's too dead to run your flashlight but still has enough juice to start a fire. In wet conditions, when every other fire-starting method has failed, steel wool is your last card. It catches even when damp because the oxidation reaction generates its own heat faster than moisture can suppress it. Transfer the flame to dry tinder immediately. It burns fast and hot, but not long. Steel wool also works as a filter medium for water pretreatment, trapping particulate matter before you run water through a finer filter. It works as an abrasive for cleaning metal surfaces before improvised welding or repair. And packed into gaps in walls or floors, it's a rodent deterrent. Mice and rats won't chew through it because the filaments shred their mouths. In a long-term shelter situation, that's not a small thing. Item 5, plastic sheeting or tarps. Unfinished construction sites, gutted warehouses, collapsed greenhouses. Plastic sheeting is everywhere, and it's boring, and it's also the reason some people are still breathing. It's not just rain protection, it's a vapor barrier. Wind moving across wet surfaces strips body heat through convection. Plastic stops that. Hypothermia kills faster than almost anything else in a collapse, and it kills quietly, which makes it worse. Stretch a sheet between 2 points at an angle with a container at the low end. Instant rain catchment, liters per hour, zero contamination from ground contact. Or dig a hole, center a container, stretch plastic over it, weight the middle with a rock. Sunlight heats the ground, moisture evaporates, condenses on the plastic, drips into the container. A solar still, zero fuel, zero fire, pure physics. Item 6, copper wire. Stripped from walls, pulled from dead appliances, salvaged from electronics, copper wire is the nervous system of the old world, and it's lying in the ruins of it everywhere. It's the second most conductive metal on Earth after silver, and silver isn't in gutted apartment buildings. For any electrical system, salvaged radio, battery bank, signaling circuit, copper is non-negotiable. Aluminum oxidizes, steel barely conducts. Copper is what works, and copper is what's available. Set a copper wire snare on a game trail and it works while you sleep. It doesn't rot, doesn't stretch, holds its shape. Passive protein acquisition in a caloric deficit isn't optional, it's arithmetic. And copper kills bacteria on contact. Oligodynamic action. Ancient civilizations stored water in copper vessels for exactly this reason, thousands of years before anyone knew what a bacterium was. It's not a purifier, it's a slow, silent, passive defense. 7 items, all of them free, all of them sitting in the wreckage of the world you used to live in, waiting for someone smart enough to stop walking past them. The apocalypse doesn't reward the strongest. It doesn't reward the fastest. It rewards the person who looked at a crumpled piece of foil and thought, that's a heat reflector, a signal mirror, and a Faraday cage. It rewards the person who picked up the rubber hose and built a distiller, the person who grabbed the charcoal and built a filter. Science doesn't stop working when civilization does. The laws of physics don't care about the collapse. Thermodynamics doesn't take days off. And the gap between the people who survive and the people who don't, in most cases, isn't gear, strength, or luck. It's knowing what you're looking at. Now go look at that dumpster again.